What's going on, guys? Snake Eyes here, playing some more Dark Souls 2, and in this video we're going to be doing a weapon showcase, and the weapon we're going to be showcasing today is Yorghs Spear. Now, if you don't know how to get this weapon, all you have to do is trade the Soul of Sin to Weaponsmith Ornifex. Keep in mind that you do need the first DLC, Crown of the Sunken King, in order to get it. If you're playing on PC, you can get it a different way, but I won't get into that just yet. But yeah, keep in mind that if you're playing on the console, you need the first DLC. If you haven't gotten it already, I definitely recommend getting it. But other than that, that's pretty much how you get it. That's pretty much how you get this weapon. Now we're gonna go ahead and go into the details of it. Fucking couldn't even talk right there. Since I've gotten it, I've actually upgraded mine to +5, so my base damage is at 300. It has 130 in the counter strength. It does 20 poise damage per hit. It has 60 durability and it weighs 19 pounds. The requirements for this weapon is that you need 30 strength and 25 dexterity. And when you level it up, I can't even fucking speak today. When you level it up to +5, it gets a B scaling in strength and a B scaling in dex. This is pretty much a quality build weapon, which is good for me because I've actually been running. That's what this character is right now. It's actually 40-40 in dex and strength, so I get a decent amount in the scaling. I don't get a whole lot. I think with the Ring of Blades +1, since I'm only in the first playthrough, I get something like 170, so it's not too bad, but at the same time it's not that great. Now, one of the pros and cons of this weapon is kind of a passive thing that this weapon has, and that's that it decreases some of your resistance to certain magics and it increases your resistance to the others. I think it decreases the dark, lightning, sorcery, and I think fire by 70 points, and it increases your resistance towards poison by 200 and the rest of them by 70. So if you're fighting against people who like to spam poison or bleed, then this is definitely something that you might want to check out. But if you find yourself running against a whole bunch of magic users, then it's kind of something that you might want to watch out for, since it does decrease the resistance towards that. Another thing that I thought was actually really amazing, and it's actually kind of cool, is that this weapon is kind of like the Santir Spear. And before you react, the reason I say that is because it has multiple movesets in this one weapon. It has something like the Twin Blade moveset, it has the Spear moveset, the Lance, and I think even the Broadsword with the two-handed rolling attack, or maybe even the one-handed rolling attack. It's one of those. But that's something that I definitely thought was pretty cool. In all honesty, some of the movesets are kind of not really useful. I guess more specifically the second R1, which goes into kind of like a Twin Blade swirling attack. I noticed that if you push your enemy out of range, then you might either completely miss that attack or you might not land all the hits in that attack. So I guess if you want to get all technical, stamina consumption versus the damage that you actually do to the person you're fighting against, the second R1 is not really worth it, but at the same time there has been times where I've actually landed it, done some real good damage, so that's kind of a situational type thing. It's not something that I would heavily rely on, but the good thing is that it does have multiple other movesets that you can use, that that one really isn't that bad. Another pro that I thought was really awesome about this weapon was that the range on it is actually pretty damn crazy. I've had a couple fights against spear people and I've actually out-speared them. I had a couple fights with people who were using lances. I out-lanced them. Pretty much any other thrusting attack weapon, Yorghs Spear will more than likely, if you use it right, pretty much win it out in every situation possible. The downside about the lances and the spears is that they all mainly have thrusting attacks, and you will find some that does have a different type of moveset to it, but with this one it has overheads, it has sweeps, it has thrusting attacks. If you're looking for a spear or a lance to use, I definitely recommend picking this one up, mainly because not only does it have the moveset that you might be looking for, but it has alternate movesets as well that you might want to check out. And even though some of them are situational, I have found myself in that situation, and those movesets have proved to be pretty useful. One of the moves that I really like doing is the one-handed running attack, which is an overhead. Surprisingly enough, it actually hits pretty consistently. It has some pretty decent tracking, and all in all, I just like the animation of it. If you guys have Yorghs Spear, just check it out. Check out the animation. For some reason, I really like it. It's kind of crazy because, you know, something like that really wouldn't catch my eye. But seeing how this one did, I just felt like it was worth pointing out because, like I said, it's kind of something that I really did like. There are 2 cons that I can think of right off the bat. One of them is the weight. My character isn't really built to have too much heavy equipment, so this one is actually kind of on the heavy side for my character. 19 pounds is actually pretty heavy for any weapon, let alone a spear. So that's kind of something you might want to consider if your character is mainly using lightweight armor and doesn't really have a whole bunch of equipment load. Then you might have to move a couple things around, or you might have to wear a couple rings to kind of adjust for that. But for the most part, if your character can equip a lot of different heavy armors and all that kind of stuff, then you don't really have to worry about that. Another con is that the weapon attacks pretty slow. It is a spear. I think it's classed under the spear weapon class, but it attacks more kind of like the Grand Lance. It's pretty slow. It's really easy to dodge, and for people who are used to the slow thrusting movesets that the Grand Lances or any lance has, you might find yourself having a little tough time trying to actually hit these people. I noticed that when I was fighting against people who had daggers or fist weapons or whatever, I found it really hard to hit them, mainly because they kept rolling around. So that's kind of something that you might want to consider. Personally, I just don't like slow hitting weapons. I always have to kind of adjust my playstyle for them, especially since I really like playing aggressive. But for the most part, it's not something that's unbearable. It's just kind of something that, like I said, I might as well just point out just in case people might not like that about weapons. All in all, this was a viewer requested video. I was gonna do it anyways, but at the same time, I really didn't put it on the top of my list. It wasn't something that I was gonna do right away. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now that I'm actually really glad that this got requested, because for the weapon and what it is, it's actually really good. It has all the things that I love about spears and lances, and it adds it with adding sweeping attacks and overheads. The thing hits really hard, and for people who are looking for a different type of thrusting move or a thrusting weapon, this is something I definitely recommend picking up, because it's actually pretty damn good. For the most part, I'm going to try to cover all the DLC weapons pretty soon. I have my eye on the Wrathful Axe, but the thing is, my intelligence isn't nowhere near high enough to wield it. I'm probably going to have to do a couple things, but that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Have fun on the DLC tomorrow. I will be trying to do some videos on that. I don't know if I'm going to do a playthrough. Playthroughs are just really not my thing. I can barely, stand 10 minutes talking on a commentary, let alone hours doing playthrough. So I'm gonna try to find something to do, but like I said, don't worry, I'm still gonna do videos. Have fun on the DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I couldn't talk today, and I still really can't talk. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, take care.